Welcome to the Growth Lab, where business ambition meets motherhood. I'm Luba, a mom of three, a self-made millionaire, speech language pathologist, and founder of 2 clinics in sensory play gyms and a mobile therapy bus unit. Join me each week as we dive into what it takes to grow successful business, balance family, and create real impact. I'll share my hard-won insights and bring on inspiring entrepreneurs with stories you won't want to miss. Let's turn dreams into action, build with purpose, and thrive on our own terms. Welcome to the Growth Lab. Let's build, scale, and thrive together. Let's get this party started. This episode is sponsored by Kidology Inc., a nationally recognized pediatric therapy provider. Kidology Inc. delivers comprehensive speech, occupational, physical, and behavior therapy services in a multidisciplinary, multilingual setting. With multiple clinic locations, a mobile therapy bus, sensory play gyms, Kidology ensures access to high-quality, personalized care for children of all abilities. Recognized by the Inc. 5000 and the Philadelphia Inquirer as top workplace and industry leader, Kinology Inc. remains committed to innovation, inclusion, and measurable outcomes. To learn more, visit kidologyinc.com or follow Instagram at Kidology Inc. So today on the Growth Lab, we have my fabulous friend, Erika Sinner. Hey, girl.
Hello.
She is a total powerhouse. She is an Inc. 5000 founder of a company called Directorie, the author of Pets Are Family, a woman that many know as the Chief Empathy Officer, and now she's pouring her heart into her passion project, Tiny Superheroes. Today, we're diving into where she came from, what drives her, and the incredible ways she's making an impact through business. And of course, we'll keep it real along the way, some laughs too, just because we have a great relationship. You're amazing. Welcome to the show.
Oh my gosh, Luba, it is so great to be here. I love you. I love the show, and it is an honor to be a guest.
Oh, thank you so much. So I wanted to dive in first to a little bit of your background because even to me, I know you as you are today, but I
Mhm.
wanted to learn a little bit more about where you come from and how you got all your fabulous ideas. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and your roots, where you grew up, and what experiences had shaped you most for the person you are today.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it short. But I am a Mexican American, which is not something I've always been super proud of, and I feel sad for my little girl self when I say that. So
Oh,
now I'm very proud. But I grew up in a home that just didn't have a lot of stability. My dad didn't pick us; he picked another family. So there was actually a moment in time where he said, "I have a new family now, and I hope you understand that." So I think that was hard for me for sure. And then my mom was a single mom. She did the best that she could, but she also had her own share of mental and health challenges. So I think the way that it shaped me is safety is really important to me. And
yeah.
safety comes in the way of money, which is also an interesting relationship that I'm working on, my relationship with money. We grew up with very humble beginnings, moving around to my mom's different boyfriends' houses, trailer parks, food stamps, all of the things. But it's really shaped who I am, so I really wouldn't change anything about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many siblings do you have?
I have a little sister. She's
Okay.
2 years younger. Yeah.
Very nice. So you had
Yeah,
each other to lean on in hard times, but
we
what a
did.
humble beginning. Oh my God, Erica. Were you always internally sparked with entrepreneurial spirit, or did that come later for you?
I think being the oldest, and having my little sister, I felt a responsibility to be there for her and to create safety in our house. I started working really young. I contributed to helping our like electric bill, like things that we needed. I wanted to also fit in so badly with all of the other kids, which was it was tough.
Oh,
I think,
that's
I don't have
hard.
an accent. My mom, that was one thing where she had just said, like, let's make sure you can fit in and you can kind of pass as being white. So let's do that. We grew up in a really small farm town. Um, and so it was, I think for me, it's always been about like how do I do a good job? How do I not make sure I draw any attention to me in a negative way so that we can just blend with everyone while I was growing up. But I also think that now as an adult, it's I think why I live out loud so much now and why I want to have a voice and I want to show others it's okay to be yourself and you are worth it just because you are you. Um, yeah, it definitely shaped a lot about who I am.
That's so special. While you were speaking, for some reason, I grew up watching Selena, what you're saying, and
Yeah.
they were blending into this cookie cutter culture while keeping up with their own.
Yeah.
Obviously, their beginnings were a little bit not as humble as yours, but
No, but still, I mean, they were, it's hard. I think, growing up that way and feeling, if when you're a kid, and you know this with kidology, I think when you have anything that's different about you, you wonder like, is that okay? Or I just want
oh
to be with
yeah.
the cool kids. I just want to fit in so badly. And then growing up in a town that was so small where, I mean, even in today, there's a town next over that still has like the KKK that will come around and be on the street corner. And you're just wondering
That's
like,
crazy.
that my math
That's
teacher? Like
terrifying.
it's terrifying. Yes. So there was a lot of when you're a kid, you're trying to figure out who am I? How do I show up in the world? Am I loved? Do I have security? And to have none of those things really be a part of how I grew up, even though we externally wanted it to look and feel that way, I think was such a shaping factor for me of how much I want other people to feel seen. Because for me, even now being out in the public eye, like it just, I have this deep-seated feeling of like, gosh, if I'm going to ask for your attention and I want you to look my way to care about the things that I care about, I just want to make sure it's worthwhile. And that is such a, it makes me sad when I think of like my little girl self to think that.
Oh, that's much deeper. Like, so for me too in childhood, and I had a lot of differences too. I came to America when I was 2 years old,
Yeah, you
and
get it.
I was different than other people in school who were all kind of the same and sat at lunch together and ate the same lunch. And I had a different lunch because my mom packed me like my cultural food.
Yes.
I ran from that stuff like, Mom, I want to be the same. But I think that over time, us having that actually really pays off
So special.
because the differences allowed us to be more accepting of all of those differences out there. So I
Yes.
think that's really special. Thanks
I
for
do
sharing
too.
that.
I do too. And
Oh,
now as an adult, I'm like, oh, I took my husband's last name, but I'm like, I'm really proud of my Mexican last name. I'm really like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we're different
what
in
is your Mexican last name?
Hinojosa. I
Ooh,
know. I know.
girl, you're gonna have a tortilla brand soon. You're
I would be so proud to have one. That's awesome.
I love Mexican food, by the way. So anytime, Erica, let's go.
Yeah, thanks.
So aside from all these things, as you
Yeah.
grew, say the first big move, you developed Directory. And
Yes.
give us the elevator pitch for anyone who's not heard of Directory. How would you describe it in one sentence? And tell us a bit about what it is.
Wow. I mean, directory to me is proof that you can have a really high performing team and really care about your people. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I've been in pharma for 20 years. I used to work at different pharmaceutical companies, bringing important medications to market. And pharma is a very much mergers, acquisitions, divestitures market. And so that comes with layoffs and right sizing and being acquired, which then goes back to my core value of safety, where I just really felt like, oh gosh, like I could be pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into a brand I really care about, to a patient population I really care about, and the shareholders could decide we need to cut cost or we need to get rid of people, and I'm just a line item on a spreadsheet, hoping that I get to make it. And so when that's what gave me the idea for a directory is, could we build a company that could help small to mid-sized pharmaceutical companies that don't have access to top talent have access, because my people know even if the product isn't approved or they get we need more information or they are acquired by a bigger company, that's okay. We'll just move on to the next really important product that needs to come to market. You will still have a job, you will still get a paycheck, you can still pay your bills, you can still put food on the table. And when I started the company, it was really about, I didn't want to lead as just a traditional CEO. I wanted my people to really know, while I do say, listen, we're not a family, we are a team. And just like an NFL team, everyone earns their spot. Whoever's practicing extras get to be picked, first, they're going to get the spot catching the football, crossing the touchdown line.
Good
Um,
analogy.
yeah, yeah, like and sometimes people get traded and sometimes they don't work out on certain teams, but they do better on other teams. And so for me, it was really this culture around like, we're a team, we all contribute, we're doing really big things, and we care about you. Um, and so now, as a two-time Inc. 5000 list winner, we just found out. I'm so
Congrats.
excited.
For you though, and I see that you saw this gap
Yeah,
in that business because you came from it. So
yeah,
talk a little bit about what you did early on. Were you in the direct line of marketing? So you were doing the marketing for the product, and then how it transferred over. Say I'm a customer.
yeah.
I'm a person who owns XYZ
Mhm.
pharma brand,
Yeah.
and I need your help. What can you offer to me?
Yeah, so I had been when I worked at pharmaceutical companies, I worked my way up the ladder. Like I had the lowest, like I think I was like a marketing services associate when I was like
Oh
21.
wow,
But
okay.
I did everything people didn't want to do. I was always raising my hand. I was always like, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to learn all of the things. I want people to know that I'm helpful. I want people to think of me when they need something. And that earned me promotions throughout my career. And then when I started Directorie, it was really coming out to different teams and saying, hey, what are the projects that your team can't get to? Or what are the things that you've been wanting to do that are mission critical to the organization? It might be an advisory board where you're bringing your surgeons together to understand what you need to be adjusting in the marketplace, or you need to bring patients together to understand what does it feel like for them to receive your product. If it's not through Walgreens, if it's through a specialty pharmacy, are the communications okay? Do they understand the medication? Those are big things because you're engaging with important stakeholders in your brand. But when you are an employee of a company, you also have all the other things you have to do. And so that's what we provide, where we come in and we say, we can handle your mission critical projects for you, where you don't have to hire another full-time employee. And you also, an agency won't understand how to do it, but we've actually walked in your shoes. Our employees have actually been employees of pharmaceutical companies. So we
That's
understand
awesome.
rules,
So
regulations,
you
all
have
things.
this superhero team, play on words,
Yes.
of
Yeah.
people who have been there, done that, and can just
Yes.
jump in and
A
take care.
hundred.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
SWAT team coming in. We're going to do it.
Hands on deck when you have, and
Yeah.
there's always projects, but when you have endless projects, it's not
Yeah.
always as simple as like an executive assistant. It
Yeah.
requires the brain power of people who've been there, done that, or
Yeah.
can understand it. So,
Yeah.
wow, what an offering. I mean,
It feels
that's pretty amazing.
amazing now to have scaled it, to have bring in new
Yes.
talent. But you asked, what was it like at the beginning? And it was, I took on three pharmaceutical clients on my own. I was working, I mean, it's crazy to say it now, but it was like 14-hour days. I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
I traveled straight for 22 weeks, 2 to 3 cities a week, because I needed to prove that the concept could really work. And then I convinced my team members who are still with me, Ryan and Thomas, to quit their jobs and come join. Yeah.
Wow.
But and that was the next step of like, can it work beyond me? And then once they came on and we could really figure out like, yes, it does, then it's okay, now how do we scale? But it was many nights, Luba, that my husband
Oh, girl.
like crying in my
You don't have to
closet.
tell me.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
But look where how far you've come. Why did you call it directory?
To me, it was this idea of director level thinking on any commercial position that you needed. So if you hired a marketing coordinator, it was going to be the best one you've ever had. A product manager, the best one you've ever had. And then the IE is like, in other words, we'll take on your projects in speaker bureau, in marketing, in right sizing the market, and product pricing. And then for what we don't do, we serve as a directory with a Y because we get to engage with so many different agencies. Well, we'll bring them to the table.
So brilliant. Amazing. Like literally love. This episode is sponsored by Kidology Inc., a nationally recognized pediatric therapy provider. Kidology Inc. delivers comprehensive speech, occupational, physical, and behavior therapy services in a multidisciplinary, multilingual setting. With multiple clinic locations, a mobile therapy bus, sensory play gyms, Kidology ensures access to high-quality, personalized care for children of all abilities. Recognized by the Inc. 5000 and the Philadelphia Inquirer as top workplace and industry leader, Kidology Inc. remains committed to innovation, inclusion, and measurable outcomes. To learn more, visit kidologyinc.com or follow Instagram at Kidology Inc. You also are an author and advocate,
Yes.
and you wrote Pets Are Family. What inspired this book for you, and what message do you hope sticks with the readers that,
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
this book. So my husband and I chose not to have human kids. So we have dogs that are our fur babies, and we treat them as such. I call
Little
myself
fur
a dog
baby?
mom. Yes. But our first son, Kingston, we got him when we first got married, and he passed away unexpectedly within a week of heart cancer
Oh,
2 years ago.
heart cancer? What the
Yeah,
heck?
I know. Even the week that it happened, they still were not seeing it in the scans. His lungs were filling with fluid.
That's real. That's scary,
It
first of
was
all.
very
Did
tough.
you see any signs of his decline? I mean, maybe he wasn't feeling well, but not, I mean,
Looking
that's
back,
like a drastic
a
diagnosis.
hundred, yes. Looking back, you're like, oh, he was panting, and it wasn't because he was hot. It was because he was in pain. Or, I mean, there were
Oh,
things that we should have caught. But even the week of when his lungs were filling with cancer, it wasn't until the third drain where they did the scan and they finally saw it, and they're like, that's what's happening. So I try to take comfort in we do all of the tests, we do all of the annual visits, we do everything that we couldn't have caught it. But when he passed, it was really hard for me. It was,
I'm
King
sure.
was the first, I got to be the mom that I didn't have. My husband and I got to be the parents that I didn't have. We got like, and his love for us back it was the first time I felt true unconditional love. It didn't matter if I did well
Oh,
that day. It didn't matter if I lost a deal that day. He just was my little guy. So when he passed, I was shattered, and I am vulnerable. I talk about my feelings. I talk about the things that I'm doing. People know me as chief empathy officer. But talking about, hey, I'm really not doing okay, and it's about my dog, and with some people to be met with, well, it's just a dog, like get another one. Like it made me realize just like the love is real because the bond is really real. And for me, writing my book, talking about how pets are family, it's as simple as that. I know I got to take pet bereavement leave because I own my own company. I'm lucky enough to do
right.
that. That my employees would understand. I know I wouldn't have been okay without it. And so my goal is to inspire other employers to even a single day of pet bereavement in a policy. I think signals to your employees like, I understand that your animals are your family and that you're not going to be okay on the day, and it's not PTO, like you're actually grieving. So then we can,
It's treated just like it would any family member because that's your pet, your
yeah.
family member.
And
You
it's
know,
just
I didn't
starting the
grow up
conversation.
first, no, and that I think that that's actually something very unique because no one is offering that unless maybe you work at like a veterinary hospital or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with a pet. I remember being maybe in elementary school, my brother found a really, really beautiful golden retriever, and he bought him a collar, and it had a bone and everything, and we were going to engrave a name.
Yes.
And we went with my parents to look at this puppy. And at the time, I think we were moving from an apartment maybe to a single home, or we still maybe lived in an apartment. I don't even remember, but we didn't have the space. But my brother really, really wanted a dog. So we go, and my mom happened to be wearing a black sweater that day. Already wasn't someone who had a lot of time on her hands, but she picked up this puppy and held it. And he was so sweet. He was kissing her, and we were all like, yeah, yeah, we couldn't wait, we couldn't wait. And then she put him down, and she was covered in fur. And she
Yes.
was like, I'm very sorry, we can't get this dog. And we were like, why? He's so nice. She was like, we're not getting it. Like, there's no one to clean, and he's sheds everywhere. And
Yeah.
so we all left very upset that day. Lo and behold, many years later, I found out I was like very allergic to dog fur. So it would have had to be,
That's a good thing.
I guess, in good terms that we did not. At
Yeah.
that point, we didn't know. And I didn't fully develop allergies until my 20s. But that would have been bad. My brother ended up having a dog and two cats, which actually have all passed since, and they just got a new dog. Puppy Kane, shout out. He's so cute, hypoallergenic, really cute. I have a picture of him and my 3.5-year-old this weekend at the shore. He's holding him. And I looked at my husband, and my kids are like, please, can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? My husband's like, no. Are you guys crazy? What dog? What dog? So we've never had that, but recently, and a lot of our friends have pets, and like I'm
Yeah.
just seeing how much love,
Mhm.
and like some of them hold them like a little baby, and they just look at you.
Yeah,
They're like sitting in their arms like this little baby.
they
It
do.
really is another baby. It's another direct member of your family. It costs just as much as another direct member of your family. So I feel like you are definitely onto something very innovative, and whether it comes more now or later,
Yeah.
people will start to recognize this, especially with so much introduction to AI and that
Yes.
artificial love, communication, connection.
Yeah.
The pet is going to be that special, I think, ongoing humanity.
Yeah.
And you're really ahead of the game in introducing like the pet bereavement and this
Yeah.
book. I gotta give it to you. It's really special. So congrats on that too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like, and I love that you get it, the connection and the part. I
I
mean,
think
yes.
that I maybe wouldn't have before. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm super connected as a human being to people and generally
Yes.
and like
Yes.
animals, and I love nature. So I wouldn't, but I never owned one. But now more, I'm seeing this love, this connection. So I, at this moment, can understand it so
Yes.
much. And I, even from the side as someone who doesn't own it, my own, okay, my 9-year-old, my oldest boy, that same weekend we were at the shore, this was just last weekend, he found a pet crab. And this crab actually, he took it home in a water bottle with a little bit of sand and a couple clams. When I tell you this crab was scared, SHITLES, from being with us, and we made him holes and he could breathe and whatever. And there were all these little baby fish that I guess came out of the clams. I don't really know, but he seemed okay and he was like really happy. He had these big blue eyes. And every time we would come up to the bottle, he was like, either he was like, get me out of
Yeah.
here, or he was just
Or
like thrilled to
excited.
see us.
Yeah.
And my son like took such a liking. He would put his finger on the bottle and they would like high five, whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
But the first night that we spent at home in the morning, Erica, the little clam had a tentacle out and they were holding hands. I took a video because this was like super Nat Geo. I did not expect this. I'm telling you, this crab and clam were holding hands. Like, where are we? What's happening? So, of course, we went to Petco
Yeah.
to buy an aquarium because I'm in a psychotic parent that took a crab from the ocean and is going to buy a we got him like stuffed in there. I don't know what we were thinking. Anyway, so we're prepping the water. You have to like keep it on the filter. I'm learning all these things. ChatGPT, thank God you're there. How
Yeah.
are we going to keep this crab alive? The man at the store was like, ma'am, this is a sea flea. I'm like, sir, no, it's not. And I like showed him on Google. I'm like, actually, this is just a very early stage of a crab. He's about to transition and grow a shell. He was just like very light.
Yeah.
And the man was like, "Oh my God, you're right." I'm like, "Sorry, like I'm a speech pathologist. Like you should know this. Like what do you
Yeah.
think?"
Yeah. No,
Anyway,
but
so
that just proves like it's not just dogs. It really
it's
is
not just
like
dogs.
it could be a
Well,
turtle, it could be a bird.
unfortunately, a few days later, he did end up passing away because we were transferring him and all this. And like, look, people are like, "Don't feel bad. Like we had a guinea pig, and you get one, and you got to learn." And I'm like, I don't want to be like learning on these animals, but Dylan was crying.
Yes.
3 days having a pet crab,
Yeah.
crying. And he was just so devastated. And now he feels better, but I promised him we'll try to get a fish or like maybe
Yeah.
a hermit crab, something more
Yeah.
developed. He wants a pet so badly, and he had that connection, this 3-day connection. Sorry, the story was long, but the point
No,
is,
it's
even
real.
with like this tiny little creature, and I felt so sad as well
Yeah,
that
it's
this
real.
happened.
It's
It's
real.
real. So you're
And
onto something, girl.
I feel it. And I think one of the questions you
Must love
asked is
dogs.
yes, but also like even in my book, you said like, what do I hope people take away? Like there's the employer side, but it's really like it's just understanding that something can happen to you as a human being
Yeah.
and it can affect you in a certain way. And it doesn't matter if other people do not understand it. If you just have the courage to say, I'm not okay, that's enough. We can just believe you that you're not okay. And what for me, it was
That
my
is amazing
your
advice,
son, it is
actually.
the hermit crab,
People are
right?
constantly putting on a smile, but they're not okay. And it's okay to be not okay.
Yes, but our society is so like we just it's so uncomfortable. Don't cry, don't be upset. Just tell me the highlights, tell me what's happening, let's celebrate. But there's actually like there's times where it's not okay and things are hard and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to say that to someone. And so if we can just believe each other and say like I'm really sorry you're not okay, tell me how I can help or I'm here. That matters.
I hope you're listening. Best advice, whether you're an owner, a friend, mom, whatever, best advice, literally. Tell me a little bit about why, other than obviously everything you just said in the book, but when did Chief Empathy Officer come about?
Oh my gosh, I think I decided to do that when I did write the book because I felt like as a chief executive officer of Directorie, now I'm going outside of the things that I control, my company, and I was trying to move beyond, and now I was going into the public eye to say, here's what I'm hoping other companies can do. That we all recognize that our employees are human beings and that their lives outside of work are absolutely going to impact their life at work, which is like
Yes.
quality, which is like results for you. And I think a lot of people feel like, oh, culture's hard, or they'll throw a pizza party. And it's like, it's not those things. It is, do your people feel seen? Do they feel understood? And you can still ask them to work really hard. And then also understand that, hey, when we're not having a busy week, you should go see your daughter's soccer game. You should go do, right? Like they're living
The value.
their whole lives. Yes. So I feel for me, it's empathy. Can you empathize and see beyond yourself and see other people's lives and know that something that might not be important to you is important to them? So I proved that with Directorie that we can have to earning 5,000 is really tough. And that is a 3-year rolling period every time. And
Yes.
you're having insane growth so that I felt like I was proving that you really could have a high performing team and also really care.
Not to add like another hat to you, but you might want to reach out to business schools because that's a course that they're missing. People don't come in. I mean,
No.
I didn't go to business school either, and you didn't either. But I think we learn a lot along the way, and there's just
Yeah.
these value points that you either have to have it embedded in you when you're starting a business or learn it. So this would be such a valuable tip for people who are interested in business. Hey, you have
Yeah.
to have some empathy and
Yeah.
understand people.
These are human beings. We're not
They
robots.
are.
Yeah.
So now we're going to transition a bit to your passion project, Tiny Superheroes. So, I mean, I've got to witness you talk about it. I see how much light, happiness, strength beams out of you when you're presenting. And I wanted you to just introduce what this is so people can better understand how it can benefit, who it's for. Talk
Yeah.
a bit about your new project, Tiny Superheroes.
Oh my gosh, Tiny Superheroes, what it does, it's the power of play. And it is, I think play is so important. It's essential. It is how we as human beings process fear, uncertainty, how we connect with each other. And I talk about play at Directorie too, where I've had it in my culture. You're caring about, you're asking about what's happening on the weekends. But when I think about it for kids especially, and especially kids who are born with a rare condition, or they've come down with cancer, or they're on a tough road ahead, it matters even more for them because
Sure.
kids should be in school, they should be on playgrounds, they should be doing all of the other things. And for kids whose lives are now defined by hospital rooms, chemotherapy, x-rays, MRI scans, I think for them, it can start to feel like something's wrong with me. I'm broken. Medical language is you were born with an abnormality. You were born with a birth defect. So you're already saying you're broken, you're not normal, something's wrong. And it's not to be hurtful. It is just these are the language that we use. And so what Tiny Superheroes does is it transforms their entire journey into superhero culture where we say, you're actually having to be stronger than everybody else. You're having to learn to walk again, or you're having to go through really incredible missions like surgery and coming out of that. I believe it gives them a new way to think about themselves instead of I'm broken, something's wrong with me. Even my parents are nervous to touch me when I'm connected to all of these machines. You're feeling that. Um, in fact, if you really believed you were a superhero and you were going on missions, that type of mindset is so important. And I've learned that through being an entrepreneur. I've learned that growing up and not being chosen. And it's taken a lot of therapy for me to feel confident and worthy and all of the things that for these kids, they're already starting behind and they're feeling that. So if we can help them feel worthy, powerful, courageous, strong, brave, imagine the lifetime impact that can have for them.
That's so beautiful. This is such a powerful message to me because my whole life is devoted to helping kids through therapy at Kidology. And that's the first thing I tell parents, especially because we counsel families so often. It's just such a shock to them too. Life
Yes.
is hard as it is. And that's why Kidology, companies like Kidology are here to help
Yes.
provide that support and make the child live and function as normal as developmentally possible. So, and
Yes.
your support, it means probably the world to those parents too,
That's
because
why I didn't.
they need a cheerleader at those times, sometimes even more than the kiddo.
100%. Yes. And truly, so that's what we do is they actually get one of these like a cape. They get a real cape
So
and then
cute.
they earn patches for their missions. So this superhero's had surgeries, they've gone through x-rays, they've gotten different scans. But when you meet a tiny superhero and you see them with the cape, there's something really powerful about, I don't have human kids, and I think kids are super honest. So meeting my first superhero, I was like, oh, are they gonna like me? Am I gonna be awkward? What do I say? But when you see them in their capes, the words just come immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm meeting a real life superhero. Tell me
Oh,
about all of the missions you've been on. And they're turning, they're like, I've had this done, I've had this done. And they're talking about it in a way where they are very proud of their clinical milestones versus, well, I've had surgery and that was really scary. Or it's a different mindset. And what's really beautiful about it is I think hospitals really try with brightly colored rooms. They
yeah.
get lucky enough and a celebrity will come. They try for these kids so hard, but they can only do so much. But with a cape, it doesn't matter if you are at a children's hospital or a rural hospital. When a child is wearing a cape, superhero culture is so easily understood. Everyone from the receptionist to the janitor to other patients coming in, when that little superhero is walking down the hallway, you're like, oh my God, there's a superhero here. And they're feeling seen, important, special.
I love that. What drives this for you?
You
Why
know,
this?
I get asked a lot. They're like, why do you do this given that you don't have human kids? Why did you
Maybe
pick this?
that's it. That's what, but
I
that's why I
think,
wanted to know.
yeah, I think because I didn't have children, I think I have more time to be able to do it. So I definitely always want to acknowledge that. But I think the reason I do it is because I know what it felt like to not feel important and safe and all of the things. And I didn't have the road ahead that these kids have. I didn't have chemo. I didn't have all of their journey. And it's what you said a moment ago. Um, gosh, when I see these parents and
Oh, that's
they are the superheroes, they're the parents I wish
oh,
I had. They are the parents, they are giving up their careers, they are there with their kids. You just can't drop your kids off to get chemo and then go to work and come back and pick them up. Like they are in it. And for me, the last 20 years working in pharma, I've gotten to launch a lot of products into hospitals. So I've seen surgeons, nurses, the trials that they go through and how tirelessly they're working to save lives and to have, to try to be there for their patients too. But with Tiny Superheroes, I just felt like it tied everything together for me and the impact it could have on children, on their parents, on the healthy kids too, who sometimes get forgotten. And then also for the healthcare workers who are like, this makes my job fun. Like it's a bright spot for me too. So now I say I used to focus on vials and now I focus on smiles in the healthcare
oh,
space.
I love that. Do you have a t-shirt for that yet?
I need
From
to, you're
Vials to
right.
Smiles.
Yes, I
You
need
need that.
to. Yes.
I wanted to ask how empathy influenced your leadership style and business growth, but you are empathy. Like you
I
were a
care a
really,
lot.
your name even starts with an E. My God.
I care a lot because I think as I have gotten older and as I've created my own family of chosen friends who have become
Yeah.
family and I've made connections with others like your heart, Joanna's heart, like other people in my life who are truly like my family who are there, I just to feel and experience love is so vital and important in life. Uh,
Yeah.
and so I have so much love to give, and I feel really honored that I get to do it in this way.
Well, I love you. I'm like
I
hugging you
love
from here. I love
you
you
too.
so
I
much.
know.
It's so much fun chatting with you. I love learning more about you, and I think this was so inspiring and informative. And anyone listening, like this is an all-encompassing individual who's found success, overcome, you know, childhood situations that weren't super pleasant, but that didn't stop you, Erica, from getting to where you are, to feeling for other people, to wanting to help children and inspiring, pharmaceutical brands. So I have to say, kudos to you. You're really just like killing it. And I hope to see you continue to do so alongside me so we can be
Yes,
together.
you do
Most
big things.
importantly, I wanted to end our chat today with some fun rapid fire
Oh, yeah.
questions. So
Okay.
don't think too hard.
Okay.
What was your first job ever?
Oh, I was a sandwich artist at Subway.
Sandwich artist. I love that. Just what you're saying. I love you. I can't. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I need to do tea, but I prefer coffee.
Coffee.
I do tea.
One thing that's on your bucket list.
Oh, on my bucket list. Wow. I have a lot of things on my bucket list. Holy cow, to pick one. I mean, I want to do all the things. This is what's bad. It's a really long list.
I
Anything from
know.
like Kentucky Derby, I've never been.
Me either.
Yes.
We're gonna go next year.
Okay,
That's
we're
it.
gonna go. Okay, that's one. Perfect.
Okay, awesome. A favorite business tool or app that you can't live without?
Oh, ChatGPT now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dream dinner guest, alive or deceased.
Oh,
Bring them back
probably
to
no. Dan Campbell, he's the coach for the Lions NFL team.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
And the emoji that describes you best right now.
The stars, the sparkles.
Oh, I love the sparkles.
I love
Yes.
those too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see that. Shimmer. Oh my gosh. Well, if you could give one piece of advice to someone out there dreaming of starting their own business, what would it be?
I'd say you are in the driver's seat of your life and you don't need anyone's permission. And you also don't take advice from other people who aren't doing big things themselves. Do what you want to do. I think for me, when a lot of times people are like, you need to be focused. You can't do all of the things. I love my life. I love that I get to do the things that I'm passionate about. And when I wrote a book and then I bought this company and turned it into a charity, and people are like, what is this? Doesn't even align with your brand, but it does. Why? Because I love it. So chase your dreams. You don't need permission and you can do it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lastly, where can listeners connect with you, get your book, Pets or Family, and learn more about Directorie and Tiny Superheroes?
So my website is erikasinner.org, but I'd also love to connect on socials, Instagram. I'm always on there. And I check all my DMs. I do all of my comments. The community means a lot to me.
You are fantastic. I hope that everybody gets the pleasure of speaking to you, reading your book, and checking out everything you're up to. Love you to the moon, and I hope I get to see you soon. Thank you so much for joining me on the Growth Lab, and see you later. This episode is sponsored by Kidology Inc., a nationally recognized pediatric therapy provider. Kidology Inc. delivers comprehensive speech, occupational, physical, and behavior therapy services in a multidisciplinary, multilingual setting. With multiple clinic locations, a mobile therapy bus, sensory play gyms, Kidology ensures access to high-quality, personalized care for children of all abilities. Recognized by the Inc. 5000 and the Philadelphia Inquirer as top workplace and industry leader, Kidology Inc. remains committed to innovation, inclusion, and measurable outcomes. To learn more, visit kidologyinc.com or follow Instagram at Kidology Inc. This episode is sponsored by Kidology Inc., a nationally recognized pediatric therapy provider. Kidology Inc. delivers comprehensive speech, occupational, physical, and behavior therapy services in a multidisciplinary, multilingual setting. With multiple clinic locations, a mobile therapy bus, sensory play gyms, Kidology ensures access to high-quality, personalized care for children of all abilities. Recognized by the Inc. 5000 and the Philadelphia Inquirer as top workplace and industry leader, Kidology Inc. remains committed to innovation, inclusion, and measurable outcomes. To learn more, visit kidologyinc.com or follow Instagram at Kidology Inc.